The compound build continues, and last time out we had a massive episode. This place took huge steps forward, but today it's going to be even bigger and even better because we're hopefully going to have the first jump, which is the mulch jump, complete. We've got really big goals for this episode because I'm hopefully going to have the mulch jump complete. Now, that leaves quite a lot of work because I've got to build the floor, the kicker needs building, the landing is just a pile of dirt which needs shaping because there's only so much with the digger that you can actually shape it. But the whole project so far has been difficult to put time towards because I've only had a few days before I've had to go off and do other things, whereas now I've got about a week at home. So the plan in that week is to just get my head down, make the most of this sunshine, and hopefully get this mulch jump as close to being finished as possible because it feels like I've had this bit of land for a while now and I just want to get something riding, and it's so exciting. Over here we've got another load of timber which is all to be used for the floor, and these are some of the studs for the kicker, which brings us on to the next task, which is the floor. So as I said in the last episode, I've been going back and forth with this. Take a look quickly. The plan for this jump is that it works in all weathers. So obviously one of the biggest factors that would stop that is what the ground is doing. And if it's obviously super muddy when it rains, which it does a lot, then it's going to be really slow and it's going to be sloppy and it's not going to work. My first plan was to put pallets down and put ply on the top. That's what Sam's done in the past at his compound when he had the field, and that worked really good, but it's a little bit ghetto and the ply splits, and also putting ply on the ground isn't the best option. So a load of you said put some road planings down. For logistical reasons, I think that's the best, but I can't get them in here just yet. The compound doesn't have that kind of access and it takes so long to barrow that amount of material over to cover this ground. But we hit a bit of a gold mine because when we got the digger, the plan was to scrape this back and dig down, and what we found is that the ground here is honestly like concrete. It's like someone's put road planings down ready for us. So what my plan is, because I can't smooth this out and get material in here, and I don't want to put dirt down because it'll be affected by the rain, what I'm going to do is I've bought some 4x2s and I've bought some boarding. So I'm going to make like a really high quality pallet, which with the posts, I'm not going to cement them in, it's going to be held down by the weight of itself, but I can level it, get it nice and smooth, and the timber's all treated, so it's never going to last as long as planings or something hard on the ground like that, but it's got the best fighting chance possible. We've got a few big shifts coming up over the next few days, and I'm itching to get on with this floor because it's all I've been thinking about lately and I just want to get going. So we're going to run the first build laps of this video, and hopefully once that's done we're going to have a perfect floor for our mulch jump. A bit more progress since the last clip you've have seen because I've actually off camera just completed the curve. I got so into this because it was actually quite difficult that I completely forgot about filming, but it came out absolutely perfect. We've got a nice smooth curve there which meets up lovely, it's really sturdy, and it's going to go from 18mm ply here into this, which is the board that we're going to be covering it in. So it's 22mm. There's a tiny 4mm lip there, but you won't feel that on the bike. And now's a good chance to just show you guys the frame that I've made and how I'm doing the floor. So as you can see, it's basically like a really long piece of decking. It's not fixed into the ground because it's going to weight itself down and hold itself down like that, but it's sturdy, and I've now got all the way to the landing to complete. So we're going to run another time warp and rattle through this because it's coming together and I'm honestly stoked. After 2 days of baking in the sun over the weekend, the mulch jump is now complete all the way up to where the kicker is ready to sit over there, and I'm honestly so stoked with how this has turned out. The floor was such a dilemma for me because I really didn't want to put ply down and just waste money when it blows in 6 months, but I think this boarding that I've used down here it is treated, so it's gonna last so much longer. But it's actually Monday morning now, and I'm joined today by Optimax, who is a company that are making screws. The plan is to build a 6-foot kicker ramp because that should be perfect for the amount of dirt that I've got piled up here. That's going to need reshaping and rejigging, I know that, and that's potentially going to be a whole nother episode, rebuilding the landing. But it's about to get exciting because I mean, the transformation is insane already as what we've done in this episode, but I think with a kicker ramp stood here, it's going to be so close to being ridden. Maybe we'll even be able to try it at the end of the video. I did bring my enduro bike, so we can maybe give it a go. But anyway, we're going to crack on with some work, so let's drop into another time-lapse kicker building. Stoked to be starting this part of the video from sitting on top of my new 6-foot kicker ramp. Thank you so much to Optimax for coming today and building the ramp for me. We was also filming for a series called To The Max, which is going to be on their channel, so keep your eyes peeled for that because we filmed some pretty fun content. I can now go over the kicker ramp with you. So look at this thing, it's insane. It actually looks so much bigger here than I thought, and it's actually the best ramp I've ever built, and I'm not just saying that because it's at the compound and I'm excited. It genuinely is absolutely perfect. All the edges, all the screws are sunk in nicely. It's not all sunshine because on the other side here we have noticed that the landing is so small. I thought it might be on the small side. You can see how much smaller the landing is. This is supposed to be the safe jump here where you want to send your tricks. At the moment it's rocky and rough as hell, and it's a step down, so I couldn't think of anything that I would rather not do tricks to. This floor is so perfect though, so honestly I'm so glad with my choice. It's solid, it's not going to hold water because it's got gaps. It might get slippy. I need to know from you guys, you timber experts, if this sawn wood when it gets wet is going to get really slippery, because I feel like it's quite a bit more grippy than what plywood is, but I also don't know, and I want this jump to work all the time, so let me know, do I need to felt this as well, or will it stay grippy when it's dry? You might be wondering why I'm on my enduro bike and got my helmet on, and that is because the plan is to try and jump the ramp. It's so windy, which is so disappointing because I've spent 3 days solid, 12 hours over here, cracking on getting this done, and it's come to the time where I could test it, and it's really blowy, which is not that inviting, but I think I'm so stoked that I'm just going to try and fight through the wind. And the reason I'm on the enduro bike is because firstly I want to see the speed of the big bike down the roll-in and on the floor, and also because the landing is flat as a pancake, and I think if I jump it on the jump bike right now I will just sink through a big crack and disappear forever. First time with a big bike up the roll-in. Oh yeah, I haven't finished the steps either. Whoa! Yeah, the rope wasn't on properly. Oh my god. I just fell down the roll-in. I guess that's what you get for not finishing the steps because I've run out of wood. Let's try again. There we go. Whew. Yes, we made it. We're up. There we go then. Look at that view. How good is that? It's dead. Okay, you ready? Okay, here we go then. Yes! Oh! Yes! Oh! I cased it a bit. I was scared of the wind because I was just sat up there for about 15 minutes waiting for it to die down, and I could feel it as I pedalled in, but it wasn't actually so bad down here. I'm going to go up, see if I can get another one and actually ride it properly. But for a first attempt, I know I cased. The landing's far from perfect, but the jump honestly felt perfect from my perspective, even though it may not have looked it. Let's give it another one. Have a dead spot in the wind. Yes, there we go. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, buddy! Yes, there we go.
Yo!
I was just attacking it a bit scared because it's so windy and the landing's not finished. Like, it's not really inviting to get washed out by the wind and crash, which actually probably makes you more vulnerable to crashing. But that time I fully attacked it and it felt insane. I wouldn't judge the jump too much off of looking at it today because it's not the conditions to be hitting it at all. But I can honestly tell you from a rider's perspective, first of all, the takeoff, I'm so glad with the rolling and the speed that we've got, we went for 6 foot, because 8 foot would have felt way too big. Like, it would have been so, like, that feeling like you're not going to make it up here, and when you start doing tricks, you're like taking off before the top of the lip. So we won't have that problem. Obviously the landing, that's a whole nother episode actually, even though I didn't think it would be. The rolling does feel a little tight on the enduro bike, but this one is a coil shock, which is really soft anyway, and the whole bike's set up pretty like soft and squidgy. So, you know, obviously if I was to have a session, I could make them adjustments and it would actually work fine. And that's actually why I put all the space at the bottom to pedal, you know, there's loads of room. I'm getting the speed, even on a sketchy, difficult day when normally you wouldn't even get your bike out and bother riding, it's still working. So I think that's a success. I've honestly enjoyed this episode so much. I hope that you guys have too. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a